Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly command respect without saying a single word, while others seem to fade into the background, misunderstood, overlooked, or quietly dismissed? Most people believe respect is about titles, money, beauty, or loud confidence, but the truth is far simpler and much more uncomfortable. People don't respect you because of what you have. They respect you because of how you carry yourself. Your attitude, your habits, your reactions, your emotional patterns are constantly sending signals to the world about who you are and how you expect to be treated. And very often, respect isn't lost through big dramatic mistakes, but through small, daily behaviors you barely notice. In this documentary-style lesson, we will explore 9 common attitudes you must stop doing if you want people to respect you. These aren't just social tips. They are psychological patterns backed by research, and once you understand them, you will see them everywhere, in yourself, in others, and in the invisible social dynamics that shape your relationships. If you stay tuned until the end, you'll learn the core principle that ties all 9 attitudes together, a principle that will help you rebuild your presence, your boundaries, and your self-respect from the inside out. Let's begin. 1. The over-justifying reflex. Imagine this. Someone asks you for a favor. You already know the answer is no. But before the word even leaves your mouth, you're already explaining, defending, apologizing, almost begging the other person to understand. This habit is far more than politeness. Psychology calls it self-validation leakage, a behavior where you try to convince others of your worth because deep down you don't fully believe in your own decisions. Every unnecessary explanation weakens your presence. It tells people, my choices aren't strong enough to stand on their own. In a world where people respond to your self-perception, over-justifying doesn't make you look kind, it makes you look unsure. And uncertainty invites pressure. A firm, calm statement carries more weight than a paragraph of excuses. The moment you stop over-explaining, you stop negotiating your own worth. 2. The emotional dumping habit. You've probably met this person. Maybe you've even been this person. Someone comes to you and says, "Do you have a minute?" And suddenly that minute becomes 30. They unload their stress, their drama, their unresolved trauma, their emotional storms. And when they walk away, they feel lighter. But you feel exhausted. This is called emotional labor imbalance. And here's the harsh truth. People do not respect those who allow themselves to become emotional dumpsters. Why? Because when your peace is always negotiable, your boundaries become invisible. You show others that your time, energy, and mental space are free resources they can drain whenever they need. There's a difference between empathy and emotional self-sacrifice. Real strength isn't absorbing everyone's pain. Real strength is recognizing when you are being drained and knowing when to step back. Protect your emotional bandwidth, because when you do, people begin to respect not just your kindness, but your limits. Here's a hard truth. Sometimes people don't take advantage of you because they're ungrateful, but because you train them not to appreciate you. You help quietly, you give endlessly, you show up no matter what. But because you never ask for acknowledgement, your value becomes assumed. This isn't about wanting praise. It's about recognizing a psychological principle called reciprocity erosion. When kindness is constant, unspoken, and unbalanced, people subconsciously reclassify your help from gift to obligation. Respect requires recognition, and recognition requires balance. When you stop giving without boundaries, people begin to remember that your time and effort are not unlimited, and certainly not owed. Apologizing becomes a reflex, even when nothing is your fault. Psychologists call this self-minimizing behavior a subtle but powerful communication that tells the world, I believe my existence is inconvenient. Every unnecessary apology lowers your social value. You shrink yourself to appear harmless, but in reality, you teach people that what you say doesn't matter. When you apologize for things that don't require forgiveness, people subconsciously see you as less confident, less stable, and less credible. Save your apologies for the moments when you genuinely make a mistake. Here is one of the most dangerous prisons people build for themselves: the need to be liked. You laugh when you don't find something funny. You agree when you don't actually agree. You hide your opinions, silence your voice, and mold your entire personality around what you think others want. This creates a psychological pattern known as external validation dependency. You live on borrowed worth, borrowed opinions, borrowed confidence. And here's the paradox: the more you chase approval, the less people respect you. Because authenticity is the foundation of respect. Not perfection, not performance, not pleasing. When you stop bending yourself into whatever shape people expect, you unlock a form of confidence that cannot be taken away. Now, before we continue, if you find these insights meaningful and you want deeper content on psychology, mindset, discipline, and the habits that shape your future, make sure to subscribe. This channel is dedicated to helping you grow into the strongest, clearest version of yourself, and the next lessons will take you even further. Let's continue. A sarcastic tone, a dismissive remark, a joke that wasn't a joke. You feel the sting, you recognize the disrespect, but you stay silent, hoping it will go away. But silence is not neutral. Silence is communication. Every time you ignore disrespect, you are teaching the other person how to treat you. When people realize you tolerate small violations, they begin to push harder. This is the social rule of boundary reinforcement. The more you enforce your boundaries, the more people respect them. You don't need to shout, you don't need to fight. A calm, firm, direct response commands far more respect than anger ever could. Respect grows the moment you decide you will no longer accept what diminishes you. Nothing drains respect faster than the illusion of expertise. The moment someone stops listening, stops learning, or believes they have all the answers, they slip into a cognitive trap known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is when confidence rises faster than competence. People with this attitude talk more than they listen. They correct others unnecessarily. They dominate conversations, not because they are genuinely knowledgeable, but because they fear looking uninformed. True intelligence is never loud. It's calm, curious, humble. People respect the ones who remain students of life, not the ones who pretend to be professors of everything. We all struggle. We all face setbacks, but some people begin to see themselves as permanent victims of life. Nothing ever works out for me. I always get unlucky. There's nothing I can do. This mindset reflects what psychologists call an external locus of control, the belief that life happens to you, not because of you. People don't lose respect because you have challenges. They lose respect when you refuse to take any responsibility. Victimhood drains emotional energy. It pushes people away. Not because they don't care, but because helplessness becomes heavy. Respect is earned by those who face problems and say, I can influence this, I can learn from this, I can rise from this. Agency is powerful, and those who embrace it naturally attract admiration. There are people who find a problem for every solution, a flaw in every idea, a dark cloud in every sunny day. This mindset creates a psychological pattern known as emotional contamination, the ability of negative emotions to spread faster than positive ones. When everything becomes a complaint, people stop feeling safe around you. They stop confiding in you. They stop trusting your presence. Not because you're a bad person, but because negativity drains energy. Respected individuals are not blindly positive. They are balanced, clear, solution-oriented. They don't ignore reality. They interpret it with strength. When you speak with clarity rather than constant criticism, you become someone people look up to, not someone they avoid. Final chapter, the principle behind all respect. If you've listened this far, here is the truth that ties everything together. Respect is a mirror. The world reflects back the standard you set for yourself. When you shrink yourself, people overlook you. When you tolerate disrespect, people push boundaries. When you chase approval, people stop valuing your voice. When you play victim, people stop taking you seriously. But when you stand with clarity, when you hold your boundaries, when you choose authenticity over approval, when you take responsibility for your life, you become someone others naturally respect. Not because you demanded it, not because you performed for it, but because your behavior communicates integrity, strength, and self-worth. If you found value in this deeper, documentary-style lesson and you want to continue building the mindset, discipline, and emotional clarity that create an unshakable life, make sure to subscribe. The journey doesn't end here. We have many more lessons ahead, each one designed to elevate how you think, how you act, and how you carry yourself. Remember, respect doesn't start with others, it starts within you. And the moment you decide to live with dignity, the world follows.